this wild ride. We're here to say we're living the imperfect way.
Haven't been there yet. We shall see.
With spring a coming. Also, I hear it coming. That's what I just thought of.
Oh my God, I do that every single time. I'll be like, I see a storm a coming. I hear the doom, doom, doom.
With spring, I feel like a majority of us, all of the people are like, springtime. You know what that means? I'm going to completely change my life and redirect it, and it's going to fix my life. Or like, there's 8 weeks till hot girl summer, shaking off the winter blues, and you're like, oh, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m.
Fine.
What is waking up? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And we are Burnt Out Perfectionist.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Oh, yeah, no. I cannot wake up at 5 a.m. anymore. My body decided after that time change, fuck you, Sarah, your new time is 6 a.m., which is 100% doable.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I saw this girl today on a TikTok. I'm not going to say in an article that I read or something like that. It was on a TikTok. And she goes, you know what? I brought my daughter to preschool today. And she was late. And guess what? The world didn't end. And I was like, she was the first time ever. She was like, the world didn't end. And when you have that like realization, not becoming like lazy, still having structure, but realizing that like you can be later if you need to be. You don't need to rush and just be like a complete fucking psycho in the morning.
I feel like, especially with the time, it was, remember, like the 6 a.m. club, and everybody was like, if you wake up at 6 a.m., it was something to do with productivity, and like somebody was like, 86% of people who wake up at 6 a.m. become millionaires.
Oh, it's 5 a.m. It's called the 5 a.m. Club. And it was like this book that was written like a bajillion years ago.
So I was like, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. So then, which, if you have ADHD, waking up at 5 a.m. with no purpose of why you're waking up at 5 a.m. doesn't work. Like, to the people that are like, oh, I get up at 5 a.m. and I do my workout class and I do this.
Those are people who are content creators.
No, I know people in my life that do that. And I'm like, respectfully, I will get up when I get up. Like, we've been really good about getting up. We go for like, I think it's about like 3K walks now.
I don't know what could be. So I'm trying to figure out what my phone keeps walking. I am listening, by the way.
And every time it's like,
got up right now, actually, since I'm on my phone.
Every time it's like, oh, well, I'm going to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. when it's still dark out. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to make my coffee and I'm going to watch the sunrise.
There's so many times where I've like legit been like, I'm going to wake up and try to like push that narrative and then just fucking crashed on the couch. And then like woken up in a panic because nobody else is awake.
And like, I feel like the most put together, and I haven't done this in 4 months. Sarah dyed my hair last night and with direction cut my hair.
Yes.
And I was like,
it was so satisfying. Her hair was still wet.
I was so fascinated that I could put like a fine tooth comb while it was wet and it just went straight through. And she was like,
my hair, I have like tangly hair. My poor kid has like straight, beautiful, amazing hair, but she's got all of like my tangle aspects to it. And I feel so bad.
But it's only like in the little front pieces that are like platinum blonde. Like those pieces, I'm like, girl.
Like the whole like crown area.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's like, oh, I'll wake up. A lot of moms I see are like, I'm going to wake up before my kids and have like a me morning. You know.
Wake up and do more shit for my kid when I do that.
Like, I tried. I was getting up at 6:30 and I would normally, I was getting up at 6. And I would normally get up at like 6:45. Mm-hmm. And you know what I ended up doing? Being ready 30 minutes earlier. I literally sat there and was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I'm sitting there ready.
People are just like, you get all the stuff done and you're sitting there and you're just kind of like pending and you almost feel like you did something wrong.
And then you keep looking at the clock and you're like, okay, everything. Like, I've had my coffee. I put it in a traveler's mug.
What the fuck did I miss?
I had breakfast, which I will also state. I thought, oh, I'll wake up in the morning and have this wonderful time. Then I eat breakfast at 6:30. Then I'm sitting at work at 10 and I'm like, I am famished.
I am so fucking hungry. It's not even funny.
And And then I was it was probably during COVID. I was like, oh, I'll do this. I'll wake up nice and early
That
and
was a
stuff.
solid estimation. It's 4.6800 steps is 4.5 to 5.5 kilometers.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, just thought I'd throw that in there.
Huh. Well, so we're going 5Ks every morning.
Oh my God.
Or it was like if you like when you wake up in the morning, like you're gonna have this beautiful, like you're gonna wake up and be alert. Okay, I'm like Anna when I wake up. My hair is everywhere.
Oh fuck yeah. That is the
I'm
most
like-
realistic that's the most realistic princess on the face of the planet. And that was Kristen Bell gave that direction. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a princess, I want her to be me-ish as a princess.
And like I wake up and I stumble to the bathroom
Oh yeah.
to empty my bladder
Yeah.
because I have to pee. Everybody has to pee when you wake up. And then by the time if I turn the light on in the bathroom, I'm awake. If the light stays off, there's opportunity to crawl back into bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I see these people get up and they're like, "Ah, I just stretch and I have my 4 beverages. And I'm like,
Also, I don't know who the fucking journal that early in the morning. Like, I can barely, if I sit down and decide I'm going to journal, sometimes it's like a rage journal.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting down, it's generally like after I've had like a day and I need to like unload my brain, I would probably just sit and stare at the page. I would need to have an entire system. Like
there'd
a
be
prompt.
so much.
Like if I was to pull out one of the prompts that you have in your thing, that's 5 a.m. Sarah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do this. Okay, let's pull out this prompt. Movies that make me happy. Why? That's literally, but like,
yeah.
I could be like, well, and I probably actually start overthinking as it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like, do you mean like make me happy or like make me laugh? Like, is that the same general thing? Is it movies that I watch when I feel shitty in order to make me happy? Like, I would be sitting there being like, well, I can list a bunch of movies, but like, am I supposed to list different genres? That is what would happen at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I would have so many spelling mistakes.
Oh, the spelling mistakes. And also, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a crisp new journal and I have a pen.
Ugh.
And I write one fucking letter wrong. Like, I could literally write movies and I'd be like, I hate the way it looks, and rip the page out.
But like, that's the thing is that's when we're like fixing how we can journal and stuff.
Yeah.
People get up and they'll be like, do all this journal. I like to journal before bed. I like to recap the night and stuff like that. I could understand maybe waking up and like pulling out my planner for the day
Correct.
and then reading it
So that way you
and
know
waiting
what the
10
fuck's
minutes
going on.
and then reading it again because 5 a.m. Eve didn't know how to. Also, I don't know if anybody else has this issue. My eyes don't wake up until like 6:30. I could be walking around blind.
Oh, mine is like eyes and brain. Like, my brain is like, what task are you doing that is so crucial that you are up this early in the morning?
I can get away with showering. I'll wake up earlier to shower for work.
I've done that, yeah.
If I haven't and I'm like, oh, I need to shower, but I was so exhausted the night prior I didn't want to shower.
Mhm.
But like I'm not waking up every single morning at 6 a.m. to have a shower.
To me, it's not productive. I'm tired earlier, which does not mean that I'm going to bed. I'll get that like wave of energy and then I'll be exhausted, but probably still up until like 11 or 12. And what makes me laugh and I don't understand it is, like you said, people who get up at 5 a.m., but then they do meditation apps. Like, meditation is relaxation. That is what sleep is. And if I was meditating, I just fall back asleep again. Like, I can't sit and do like, no, I'm also like, we're nauseous people in the morning. So this is just like not our jam. Like, I can't imagine waking up at 5 a.m., which, like, for example, during hockey season, I'd wake up at 5 a.m., make sure all my kids' stuff is good to go, make sure she's got a little like granola bar and like a yogurt drink because that's about as much as she could handle. And I do not eat anything until I get to Eve's house because I got to take my kid home again. She's got to have a quick shower because no one wants to smell like hockey pads when they go to school.
Sure.
Throw on her uniform, like make sure her hair is blow dried, all the other stuff. Get myself dressed in non-rink attire because those are two different things, especially when it's freaking cold that early in the morning. I swap all that stuff over. My husband's like doing his thing, and then we leave. I don't have time to eat food in the morning, and nor do I feel like I want the food.
But it's also like it's like when people are like, "Oh, you should eat overnight oats in the morning. Start with fiber. You should drink." I'm getting heartburn just saying that.
Oh,
You
that's
should
because
drink
of the
lemon water. You should drink this. You should drink this in the morning. And like I have heard all of the different trends of like when you get up in the morning, have five like a big glass of ice cold water. So I did that for a week.
That's
and
such a white person thing.
guess what I did every single morning?
What?
Threw up.
Yeah. And then I ended up going, I don't know if this was my algorithm specifically or if it ended up being like very trending for everybody, but it was called Chinese Girl TikTok.
Oh, yes.
And it was like, and she's like, this is how Chinese eat in the morning. And then I saw a video of Mia Sayoko, and she's like, this is how Japanese girls eat in the morning. And it's a lot of like, because you know, when you eat like the same thing, like North American breakfast is very North American breakfast. And I didn't realize that until I did like travel and tourism. I think it's because there's so much consumption, like consumerism wise, but also like mentally, because everybody has a platform to talk on,
Yeah.
like with social media and stuff. So if you're sitting there, and I mean, the videos, like I literally said out loud, oh, I would just love other options that I could like eat in the morning, like something
Yeah.
that would be like small, easy to digest. Lo and behold, the algorithm put me on to Chinese Girl TikTok. And it was like, oh, we drink this. Like, it's like hot water and you have all the other stuff and you put it in there. And then you can like eat the berries because you use like it's red dates. There's another word for it, but it's like red dates in there. And then like eat them after. Like, don't throw them out. There's like apples in there. Apples are good for gut health. And so basically, you're having fruit tea in the morning, is what it is. And then one of the things was like congee, which is like rice porridge, which sounds gross, but it is the most magical thing in the entire world. But I can't imagine chugging celery juice. I have green juice powder, but I purposely drink it after the day because if I've just eaten a crap ton of produce and vegetables, I don't need that. Like, you don't need to like overdose yourself on stuff.
I also like I know people will be like, "Oh, this about coffee, this about coffee. You should have matcha, you should have this, you should have this." You know, I have consistently had the same coffee for 10 years.
Yeah.
And yes, I have upgraded to an espresso machine, but I have had my coffee made the exact same way for 10 years. And I've never had an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it's like, "Oh, you know what you should do now?" So I did that like have espresso or like instant coffee and then use that premier protein to like make protein
Oh, yeah.
coffee.
Which is, it's good in hindsight. Like, you're like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna barf. I don't want to eat food in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll throw this fucking protein in because, like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, why don't I try this?
Yeah. And
I've done that a million times. I unfortunately cannot get Premier Protein, but I've done it where I've like made the stuff, let it sit because vegan protein's very different. Let it sit and then like put it in with my coffee.
but like anything like those smoothies, I can't have in the morning. You know what is my staple breakfast that I've learned? Do you want to guess? Guess Sarah. Guess what my gold staple? If I can.
Toast.
No. Goldfish crackers.
Oh my fucking God. Really?
Yeah, because they're salty, they're small. So what I've also realized too is I can't eat like a Timmy's muffin in the morning because it's too much.
Oh no, I don't eat them in the morning. I eat them at like 10 a.m.
But I
It's like
I would,
morning snack time.
no,
for
I
me.
would love to have them as like an evening, like after dinner. Like I can eat a
Yeah.
muffin then.
That's what a Costco muffin is for. At least those like giant ones that they used to have. And then you'd have them with like ice cream.
But I can't have a bowl of fruit and yogurt. I'll throw it up. I can't have like there's so many things, and I have done like great research of like what can you do to not wake up nauseous.
Yeah.
Nothing has worked. It's like, oh, before you go to bed, make sure you have lots of protein. Like it's your body, it's your
Yeah.
stomach acid and your acid reflux.
Or it's your allergies. You're nauseous. Take your allergy medication at night.
And I'm like, well,
Prop your head up. Do this. Do this. And I'm like, okay, I've tried every single thing too. And there's some days where I wake up and I'm like, nope. Like we'll go through, we'll like say as a family we're going through, there's several times where I have gotten nothing if we're like grabbing breakfast.
Yeah,
And
and
my husband's like, "Are you gonna eat something later?" And I'm like, "Mm-hmm." I
I
just
like the
can't.
smell.
Yeah.
I find like there's certain things that can be safe for a while. I say safe. Everything's safer than like I don't have any like eating disorder, but I call it like my safe foods in the morning that won't make me hurl.
I call them my default foods. So you
Yeah.
say safe, I just say default.
But like anything that seems like if you were to hear it out loud and it sounds like a torture spell, cold showers.
Oh no, that's a hard pass for me.
I will have I will have lukewarm to cold showers in the summer because I overheat really easily.
Oh yeah,
and I have dark
I feel
hair.
like that's pretty normal. Or I'll have like a cold shower if I'm really fucking sick and I'm like have a fever.
But I'm also like, why am I going to wake up at 5, 6 a.m. to then go into a freezing cold shower
Yeah.
that is supposed to wake me up and feel ready for the day? And all I end up being is sitting on the toilet with 2 towels on, shivering my booty off. And then in the end, guess what? I'm still dry and my hair's the same. I feel like it comes in waves. I feel like it's always in spring that these like supplement requirements.
January, spring. So January is fix your life. It's a new year. Spring, it's always get ready for summer. Everybody's fascination with summer,
Hot girl summer.
hot girl summer, or I feel like because a lot of content creators are based in Los Angeles and a lot of companies are too, they really focus on like sunshine's out. This is what you need. And you're seeing all these people promote it. And you maybe live in a part of Canada that doesn't quite have consistent sun at this time. We do. We're hot and we're warm and we're in BC. And you're watching and consuming that content constantly. And you're like, oh, well, in order, I got to be ready for when the sun comes out, or I got to be ready for this, or what I'm doing. I feel like the message is always like, what you're doing is not enough. This is what you need.
And like the supplements, the drinks, I will happily state at the beginning of the whole like energy drink craze.
Yeah.
I was definitely one to be like, this sounds lovely.
Oh, I had already been drinking Monsters. I had already been a promoter for Red Bull. Like,
I've had Monsters and stuff like that. I love high rollers. I can't get them regular. I love high rollers. And then it was like the switch to all of these like probiotic sodas.
yes.
And like I hadn't tried one. I was like, oh okay, like whatever. Sarah and her kid were staying over and she's like, oh, try this. And I was like, it just tastes like apple cider vinegar.
There's one that had apple cider vinegar in it and another one, they were delicious. They're called Cove Soda. They're in Canada. But they just do not react well with my gut.
They have been banished in my household as
They give me absolute rancid ass.
and I'm not talking like oh, that's bad. I'm talking like the dog left the room.
No, like it smells like someone's pumping out a septic tank.
It was so bad. And I was like, no.
Where some people are like, oh, if you have that reaction, you're supposed to drink more. But like, I'm not a soda drinker. And yeah, because it's like, that means like, that's the whole notion is like, oh, if beans make you gassy, or if you drink these probiotic sodas or eat yogurt and they make you gassy, that means your gut health is incorrect. So you need this supplement or to keep eating more of those things and putting more into your system, because then eventually at one point you won't smell like it. Yeah, but you'll have no friends at fucking hate.
And I was like, I've seen all of them all like, oh, use this drink powder. You need collagen. You need creatine. You need.
That's the whole thing is.
What was this other one? There was another one that was trendy.
Oh, there was like AG1, the bloom powders. Like, you start noticing who they're targeting and how well the algorithm works when slowly but surely every single personality that you see online, whether it's an actor, a singer, anything like that, they'll be like, oh, like doing an ad, or they'll have it in the background of a video that they're doing. And then within sometimes a year or even less than that, it just disappears and another thing cycles through.
Or you see it like during they're like, I'm cleaning out this room.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, I'm going to get rid of these. And I'm like, if you weren't a fan of them, like if the business goes tits up, like that's one thing. But if you were actually a fan of them, like how were you promoting them? Like that's I feel like
if
in
you
my heart
organically had that product because you actually genuinely liked it and you needed it or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're using it, then that's great. But when you start seeing people and then you see them like, you know that that person's friend got a huge PR package and I'm going to share it with my friends, and next thing you know, they start talking about it so they can get sponsored content.
I think a majority of the time too, I see the ones that are like, so for instance, for vitamins, I can't take a lot of vitamins because they make me really nauseous.
Also, vitamins are different for everybody. So many of the
Yeah.
vitamins have like, this is 200% of your vitamin C. Why the fuck do I need that?
Or 1,000% of your daily iron.
Yeah.
I need 0.
Iron fortified things, all that other stuff. Like, always, like, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to have to talk to a doctor about different things. It's like, well, we're heavily regulated in Canada, so like you can just take a multivitamin if you want to.
But also, if you think about it too, like, we're not doctors.
No.
We're not nurses. We're not higher levels or pharmacists that know it, like, deep into this. If you have a bunch of people, like, if you think 10 years ago, so like 2016, what was the trendiest thing going on in 2016? Being a vegan.
Oh, 100%.
And then it hit 10 years later with the carnivore protein diet, this diet, this
Oh,
diet.
yeah.
I'm doing, and in between that, like 2018, was the Mediterranean diet. And every single time it's this like obsession
Oh,
with
the
changing.
ones in the 90s with like Atkins.
Weight
There was
Watchers.
Weight Watchers, but there was also like everybody was just obsessed with eating pitas, like pita pockets. So you would just, everything went inside a pita pocket, and it would be like, oh, if you have 3 pitas a day with like chicken, vegetables, and everything, like you're hitting all your stuff and you'll lose weight, was the whole thing. Is like, that was like kind of like the precursor, or the cabbage soup diet.
The rainbow.
Detoxes, which I know Liam, the TikToker that I love to watch, absolutely loves when people talk about detoxes.
Detoxes, juice cleanses,
Same with like Dr. Nick.
juice cleanses, anything like that. Like, I'm like, if you like, everybody wants a quick fix.
Everybody wants a reset. A reset has been oversold to everybody.
And I'm going to be honest, when I go grocery shopping and I do meal planning, I have learned that I need to allot a snack category, because sometimes I'll make all these plans for meals and stuff like that. And, you know, they have the carb, the stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what am I eating in between? And to anybody's like, I eat 3 meals a day. I eat 1.5.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, I eat snacks, because I'm like, I don't really want to make something. I did make lunch today. I had breakfast provided to me from the kitchen of Sarah, and then we'll have dinner. But I'm like, planning, when I first did meal planning, I was like, oh, I'd only allotted for dinners. And then I was like, well, what are we having for lunches? What are we having
Right.
for breakfast? I'm like, oh, what are we going to have when I come home from work? And I'm like, I'm ravenous. Nothing. Apparently, air or 3 almonds, in the words of Gigi Hadid's mother.
I know, because it's like you're either planning dinner, which is the worst question, is what's for dinner, or you're over planning, under planning, or not planning. Like, there's no like in between.
And to anybody that's like, there's a girl with that binder that's like, but it's always that like, she like pulls out the binder and she has like a list of like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, that would be great. But then you have to like test the meals enough that like people would like them.
Yeah.
And so then, sorry, the gates of hell just decided to come out as an alien in my throat.
I heard that.
I know. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, great. I have all these meals that we like. And then it changes season.
It changes season or my personal favorite is you make the plan for all the things and you've got like a solid like 2-week rotation. So that way nobody gets bored.
Yeah.
And then they recall lettuce.
And you're like,
Fuck. Like, especially in the spring and summer. Because that's like a default. Like, it's a solid like side thing. Everybody in my family will eat it. And then out of nowhere you turn around and you're like, okay. And then you're planning all this other stuff and there's a recall on meat. Or, oh, I would love to make pork chops. Pork chops are now $35
and it's so this like,
because they're trendy. Like,
Yeah.
celery went up. Celery at one point in Canada, where we live, it was $8 for a bunch of celery because people went through a celery juicing thing. Like, you know, when you can't find an ingredient because of a TikTok recipe going viral.
sweet potato currently.
Oh, any type of sweet potato.
Any type of butter cheese. I didn't know. I literally typed in, why is butter cheese sold out? And then that Courtney lady popped up with the sweet potato.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
and she's literally just giving a sweet potato a cheese enema and eating it. And I was like, how is that not girl dinner?
oh, I know. And like, then it's the skincare routines. And like, I feel like people don't understand now that like, essentially everything that you do is a phase. Like, a
Yes.
skincare routine, journaling at 5 a.m., waking up at 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
cold showers, it's all a phase. And now, instead of like telling kids, like, yeah, like, you might not actually want to do this, like, find your own creative desires, to like, you want an entire 14-step skincare routine? I'll buy it for you. It costs $7,000.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it every single night, I'm going to be mad at you.
Well, there's so much emphasis put on so many things. It's like you have dry lips. Here's 85 different peptide and lip treatments that you need to use on your lips. Or maybe you just need to drink water.
Or baffles me is when you enter like a general like retail store that sells lip balm, and you stand in the lip balm section, lip balm section, and it ranges from $3 to $17. And if you want lip balm, but there's no plain lip balm,
Yeah.
there's lip balm with a tint. Lip balm. No lip balm with a tint that I've ever put on my lips looks natural. I look like Barbie.
Oh, the only one is the LA Colors one, the cherry one. That's the only one that works for me.
But like the rest of them, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I need a plain lip balm.
Yeah.
Well, you can get this tin, or you get this pretty tin, or you get this. And I'm standing there going, I just need lip balm. So then, you know what I do? I buy the like quart of Vaseline,
Yeah.
and then I just buy a tiny container.
Oh, that was a big thing back in 2016 was like a bunch of people were like making products called like unpetroleum. So it was like a moisturizing thing that was a salve that wasn't and they kept saying it wasn't petroleum based because there was a misunderstanding that petroleum jelly is actually based off of petroleum gas, which it's not.
And once again, like, and it's like,
And that's the whole thing is, and that's become an entire industry where they pulled all the petroleum out. And then there was, like all the makeup companies started pulling talc out of their stuff because of an issue. There was a lawsuit over baby powder
yeah.
and people getting infections and stuff like that. And it was determined that it quite possibly could have been talc. So everyone started pulling that out of their makeup. So now it's everything has less ingredients and more things in it, but it's more customized, but it costs like $35 instead of $5.
Yeah.
There's more and more, or like you said, the vegan route. Like a lot of people went vegan for makeup ingredients. I'd rather see vegan. Is that vegan for makeup ingredients? I want to see animal and cruelty free.
And I feel like too, it's that notion now of like people are like, well, if it worked for this person, it's gonna work for everybody.
Oh yeah, if it works for this one person, I'm like, do you have the exact same genetic background as that person? Because even if you do, it might not work. Like if Eve
Yeah.
finds something that works for her really well, it probably will not work for me.
Yeah.
Because every single person is different, and you're constantly being sold like you said, a quick fix, or it's almost like you're being told that you are missing something or that you're fucking up your life because you're not waking up at 5 a.m.
And like even like other than lifestyle changes, even like influences in what you drink, what you read.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that I see on like, cause I'm on BookTok, and it'll be like, this book changed my life. And it'll be like a fantasy romance, and it'll be like, this changed my life.
And I'm like,
And I'm like, well,
because
that's not
it
a
what?
self-help book.
I know. I'm like, did it? That's the whole thing. Is I saw someone say that about Court of Thorn and Roses. That
ACOTAR?
series. Yeah, that changed my life. And I was like, okay, but define that. Like, did you learn something out of those books? Is it because you suddenly found a love for reading? You found a genre that you appreciated?
Yes.
You connected with a character? Like, a large majority of people don't kind of go into that. And then I noticed that a lot of people, especially like during COVID and stuff like that, started reading like Colleen Hoover books.
Mhm.
And I'd never heard of Colleen Hoover. And I remember being like, oh, but no one ever they're like, oh, these books are so good. Like, they just like, they changed my life, or they altered my brain chemistry is my favorite one that a lot of people state. The only person that I trust who reads a shit ton of books all the time, who actually states that on her podcast with Manny is Laura Lee, is because she reads a lot of like self-help books. She goes, when I read a book, I can't really read books where it makes me like go off into la la land. She's like, I like to read a book with like structure or to work on something.
Yeah.
That's her personality. And I totally get that because I'm very much like that too. Like, I only started like reading some stuff for fun once I found some books that were actually interesting to me and like match like I don't need like 25 chapters of fluff and then you give me the last 5 chapters are like fucking great. Like, I need you to give me stuff and I'm like, oh, why are they giving me this? Because eventually it's going to swing in with everything else.
Yeah.
And just explaining why. Yeah, okay, so you read Dave Ramsey's book and you're like, wow, now I'm debt free because I followed all of this stuff. That's awesome. Like, good for you. You gave an explanation of it. But there's so much like overselling when it comes to stuff.
Well, and it's always like, I find right now with the book community, it's always like people will put out a book. And now it's like, well, is the cover AI? Is the content AI?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I don't see them. And so then I go into reading a book, and it could be brand new, it could be old and stuff like that. And I find it's so hard to read some books because I can tell instantly who they wrote it off of. Like, I can tell who your favorite author is,
Oh, yeah.
why you wrote it and stuff
When
like
it's a
that.
straight up ripoff.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't read the Twilight books.
Like, when I read it, I want to be, if you're writing a fantasy series, I want you to be creating your own world. I want it to be different. I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm reading Harry Potter,
Yeah.
or I'm reading Percy Jackson, or I'm reading, and I'm not talking like the basics of like wizards and like gods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking like, the first thing is like, I didn't know I was a demigod, or I didn't know I was a secret wizard,
Yeah.
or something like that.
I need to fight for my city instead of district.
Exactly. Like, if
Yeah.
I have to read the same thing over and over again, it's like, there's a competition, there's this, there's this,
It's
there's
the
this.
same crap that goes on in the movie industry where they pick one thing and then they roll with it.
And I always just go, if I wanted to read the same book because I like that book, I would just go read the other book.
I would just go reread the book.
If you write a book and it's like, I poured my heart and soul into this, this is about this, 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 I am so tired of, oh, well, this is Jenny. She's the skinny blonde girl, and her bestie's Philip, who's a woman whose dad gave her a man's name because she works in the car shop.
Yeah.
And she's, dare I say it, she's a little bigger, so she doesn't get any guys. But Jenny gets everybody. And I'm like, I'm
It's
so
like the
tired.
Barbie and Tiffany effect. Like, there was
everything.
Barbie, and then there was Tiffany and Teresa, and like her friends or her sisters and the other things, but no one was as good as Barbie.
But also, why can't guys be friends with girls and they're either not gay or they're like in love with each other? I'm like, could you just be friends?
Oh my god, like when they eventually just it's like when I'm watching High Potential, and I have never watched the French version, okay, of High Potential. And no, because everyone's like, oh, well, if you saw it, there's just certain times where I want to see two people collaborate and I don't need to see them get together. And that's not just because I'm married. Like, I just like to see productive friendships. Like, Xander and Buffy were best friends.
And I like the consistency of like watching like different duos who are friends. That's why I like The Rookie, is like there's different
Yes.
cohorts and everybody kind of gets along and nobody like hates each other.
Like, it's called The Rookie because of how it started.
Yeah.
But you're not just watching it for Nathan Fillion. You're watching it for everybody has not in your face, drop all the trauma, character development. You're slowly learning about them. Everybody's great. Like, when someone goes pick it, like when they show that someone might get shot, I'm like freaking out. Who's getting shot? There's like one character I don't really like on that show, but it's Bailey. I just feel like
Main
I
one, though.
don't think it, and it's nothing against Jenna Dewan because I've like watched her intensive stuff.
Yeah.
There's something about the character, and I think it's because of her background. I like chronically wonder if she's like a bad guy, like a secret bad guy,
True.
because there's all this crap that keeps happening to her. Like, are they eventually gonna whip it around, almost like that, like Catherine fucking Nina Dobrev like character thing that happened in like Vampire Diaries or like Spencer in Pretty Little Liars,
But
because they were good books.
like, I want something that, like, it's not like we're gonna go find the crown jewel.
Oh, I like stuff that's like National Treasure, where I'm like
Yeah.
helping and I feel like I am actively participating and piecing this shit together.
Like, you are a character.
Yes.
And, like, those types of things, it took me so long to realize that, like, I didn't have to finish a book because I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would finish the book and be so annoyed.
Hey everybody, it's me, Sarah. I just wanted to let you know that Overwhelm the Label is relaunching on April 28th. We have lots of fun new designs, totally brand new styles of hoodies, new textures, even higher quality, just so much. Have a look out at overwhelmedthelabel.com. Thank you so much, and I will continue this episode.
Slow movements? Nope.
If I figured out that if I do yoga, I prefer to be in some sort of class,
Yeah.
because I've tried doing it at home. There was this person, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't like Blogilates, but it was this other girl. Yoga was Adrian, I want to say. I don't know. She has a dog named Ben
Yeah.
that sits in it. And she did that. And I did that a couple times. But I worry constantly. And I know this is something like in my head, but like in a class, you have someone like correcting you.
Mhm.
So there's so many times where I've like done moves or about to do moves incorrectly. And they're like, oh my goodness, like you're actually overextending yourself. You don't need to do this. Like if you do that, this can happen. I've actually done a hot yoga class where like I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. Like my back was so fucked.
Yeah.
So it's like I like to have instruction, especially when I'm first doing it. I don't have the want or need to do it. But if you want me to do Just Dance,
Oh,
I will do
yes.
Just Dance if you throw it on, because that's fun.
Yeah.
And I don't mind like walking on a treadmill or like lifting weights in a circuit system, but like I don't feel at this time that I would need like a gym in my house, because I feel like it would just it's almost like because it's there,
Yeah.
I won't like use it as much. And that's the whole thing, is like they sold people for the longest time. Like I feel like social media has now become infomercials that we had in, like the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I keep really fit. I have those fucking boards that everybody had. Oh, the walking pad was obviously
Or
a
the
huge one.
reformer ones.
The reformer ones, and they're just like, people are using this. First off, some of these are like plastic, and they have like elastic bands that you like hook on, and they look like terrifying because they're supposed to be for like Pilates.
Yeah.
I've never done a Pilates class. There's just so many parts.
I'm also like, I have a lot of hair. I feel like something's gonna get caught somewhere and I'm gonna rip it out.
Yeah, it's like especially for the fitness industry. I mean, like that's like a whole thing on its own with supplements and like what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, when you're supposed to eat, when you're not supposed to eat, but also like what you're supposed to wear. How it's like, oh, you better not show to yoga and Pilates without like grippy socks. And
Or
I'm just
like,
like,
you need to have a matching set. Or you need to have this. Or this is
Yeah.
how, like, I sometimes watch it and I'm like, oh, this is what I'm wearing. And someone will put it on and I'm like, my one boob would take up the entire shirt.
I know, but it's like the expectation of sign up for a yoga class. Like it's not that hard. Just like get yourself to sign up. Well, if you sign up for a yoga class, or even get a punch card, you're looking at $150, $250 minimum. And that's even for just like a month. Say you do like it. Yes, it is a health investment. But then you want to go and you just want to wear like, I don't know, some free t-shirt that you got and some like old pair of shorts that you had, because you don't really, it's not that you don't care. And then you slowly start like getting into the stuff. It's like the rec jar thing.
Mhm.
I was laughing. Everybody's going with jam jars.
Mm.
Because they're like, oh, it's just so much better for you. I'm like, fuck, I would knock that over and break it so bad. I'm already bad about knocking over a fucking reusable water bottle.
Mm-hmm. Or like at the cups. It's like, oh, if I get this, it's like, and I love a mug. I love a cup. I'm not saying anything's wrong,
Oh, yeah, no.
but I could never, before going to bed, have 2 big glasses of water and then go to bed.
Oh my God, I'd be up at 3 a.m. having to pee.
And then it's like, oh, well, you do this. Or if you drink too much water, then if you drink too much water, you're actually like not doing a benefit to your body. And then it goes down this like whole rabbit hole.
Yes.
And I'm like, is there a calculator where I could put my genetics in and it just tells me what amount of water I need to drink? Because if I want this, oh, well, if you have this much sugar and you have this is what your life's going to look like. You know what I've determined? Everything causes cancer.
Yes.
I'm going to die of cancer
Yep.
one day. One day. Who knows? And you know what? I'd rather just, consume my Coca-Cola and my lemonade in peace instead of this, like... Also, there's been research out now of, like, when everybody was like, oh, well, cow's milk is from the devil, and it's the worst thing ever.
We were never supposed to drink cow's milk because, our ancestors didn't. Well, our ancestors had scurvy and didn't know why. Our ancestors died from the flu because they didn't know how or why or what they were supposed to take. They never had detoxes, and that's not why they died of liver failure. It was generally because of unfiltered alcohol that they were drinking.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite thing is it's the constant sell of we were never supposed to do this. Well, the reason why a lot of people started drinking cow's milk is because moms couldn't produce breast milk, and that was the alternative because nobody made formula back in the 1900s. And it was a source of calcium.
Yeah.
And then for years, I'm actually allergic to dairy. I didn't make a conscious choice. I would much rather eat cheese and drink milk all the time.
Yes.
My body made that choice, which was fucking rude. But you have it where people are like, oh my God, remember those got milk campaigns when we were kids? Yeah, big dairy, just really pushing that. Like, it's always like, this person's trying to sell this. This person's trying to sell this. Is dairy a source of calcium? Yes. Do they put vitamins in it in order to help you properly digest it? Correct. Like, there's so many things. I understand that there's a lot of things that have been genetically modified.
Yeah.
A lot of things that people are like, oh, you should eat organic over like regular whatever and stuff like that. But there's not the constant go back to our ancestors didn't have this. Do you know what, like, technically Fred Flintstone would have lived to like the age of fucking 35 and died of heart disease?
Our ancestor, like one of ours, literally was a carriage builder. And guess how he died? By being run over by a carriage.
Oh my God. It's my favorite story.
No, like, literally, like, if we're going, oh, well, back in this day, they didn't have licenses. They didn't do this.
No.
They, like, you know what they also did is that you couldn't go to the grocery store. You grew it. And I'm pretty sure no one looked at some oats and went, you know what, I shall do it. Soak it in thy water and milk it. Oat beverage. Iced beverage.
Yes.
And it makes me giggle. But I feel like there's so much, like, anytime I see any, like, trend and it's like, oh, the analog back.
Oh my God. Fucking cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese.
I'm so over cottage cheese.
Hearts of palm.
Oh, hearts of palm are gross. They do not taste like mozzarella sticks. Do not listen to people.
What was that? Hearts of palm.
The random ingredients.
Olive oil with lemon.
Oh yeah, you're just sucking back dressing.
You know what? I'm gonna get an oat latte, but I'm gonna get whipped cream on top.
Oh, that's my
Just-
personal favorite.
just
Or
The usual.
the utter run of everybody and how obsessed they are with matcha and like over drinking matcha, and they have low iron.
And the overconsumption of alcohol and like all of these other things that people have.
My favorite thing in the entire world. If we know how bad it is for you, why do people still smoke cigarettes or different ones?
But it's so, like, it's like you're never doing anything right. And it's like every time you try something and it's like, oh, I'm going to try this like before my coffee, or I'm going to do this. It doesn't work. And it's like, oh, well, it worked for everybody else.
Oh, I know. It's like, oh, really? This didn't work for you? This is absolutely life-changing for me. And it's like, well, that's great. That's like, life-changing for you. But I did for about a week and then I forgot about it. So I feel like it just didn't like work.
Or I didn't like it.
No.
So let us know down below what things you have tried that you enjoy
Mm-hmm.
and have found useful. And yeah, always stay warped and twisted as ever. Peace.
We got the mess, but here's our light. Together